Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Doing it a little differently today, just a little different. I got my Rizzo on today. I'm Lenny Green from the Quiet Storm, and happy to be with you on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you, family, for locking in and linking up and posting up. Appreciate it. Like I said, I got my Rizzo on today. I got my Rizzo, baby. Got my Rizzo. I wanted to look a little swag. Want to look a little different. I know the brother always wears a brim, and now watch. Watch Ralph come up in this bad boy. You won't have for any hat. It was just my luck, but I just wanted to try to look a little more swag today. Because, Ralph Tresvant, swag dude. But y'all, thank you for joining me. What's up, Ann Foster? Tony Montana, Jay Webb, what's going on, everybody? As you know, this is the Saturday afternoon thing, the get together thing, the off mic series thing. And I want to thank my Quiet Storm family in New York, in Miami, in Augusta, Georgia, in Oklahoma City, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Nassau, Bahamas, which we can't get to. We cannot get to Nassau, Bahamas. They closed the borders yesterday. Yep, they opened up the borders of Nassau, and they closed the borders of Nassau. This coronavirus is real serious. My head is not right, y'all. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm aware. For those of you just starting in, I decided to do something a little different. I know I got some Rizz riders with us, or will be joining us. But how many of y'all are day oneers? NE day oneers. I want to know that. How many of y'all are day oneers? What's up, Mimi? Mimi Carter, what's up, baby? How you? All about Rizzo. I understand. It is. So we're waiting for the brother to link in and post in. And as soon as he gets in, we're going to bring him up. Look, I want you all to let me know who's been here with NE ever since the beginning, ever since 1983. Have you? And also post them and let me know exactly where are you. Okay, I think I see the brother. Let me see if I can grab him. Oops. I saw him just a minute ago. Hold on. I saw you, Ralph, just a second, man. Oh, damn, did I miss it? It's crazy. They gotta come up with another way of doing this. For guys like me. It's crazy. Hello, Rizz. I'm trying to grab it. Let me see. Are you here? Are you on this part? Okay, I see him. He really needs no introduction. The brother's been doing his thing for quite some time.
There
He's
you go.
wearing a hat.
There you go. See
I
you, man.
tried to get my Rizzo on today, man.
Hey, listen, I tip my hat to you, Lenny. There you go.
Ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, the man who really needs no introduction, this brother right here, singer, songwriter, producer, entrepreneur, actor, uh, super dad, and phenomenal brother overall. Phenomenal brother. Ralph Tresvant, a pleasure and an honor, my brother, just to have you in my company.
The pleasure's all mine, Lenny, as always, man. Good to see you. Looking good, bro.
I'm trying. It's hard, man. You gotta give me a secret, man. How
Hey,
do
yo.
you keep fit, man? Because like brothers in our world, we get a little comfortable in the stomach area, but you still got your packs going, man. What do you do?
I'll be honest, man. I really don't. I just eat well. I just eat properly. I don't eat a lot of craziness, man, and I don't eat um, exceedingly. I eat just when I'm hungry, you know. So I can go to. There's times where I can glut and go in, and
Really?
then be a time where I just don't. I'm not hungry like that, so I don't force myself to eat just because it's breakfast time or it's dinner time or whatever. I want to eat when
So
I'm hungry.
so you eat? Do you eat one? Definitely one meal a day, but no more than two.
More than likely, it just depends on how what I'm doing. If I'm really active and I'm doing a lot, I might get more. I might be more hungrier. But for the most part, I just eat when I'm hungry, when I'm really hungry, and and on top of that, I don't eat a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not eating pork and meat, a lot of crazy stuff. I've been eating pretty much a raw plant-based diet for a long time, but I've been
Oh,
adding seafood stuff in there as time goes on, just so I can get some more substance. I just wasn't feeling filled up. I wasn't feeling filled up when I was eating, so I had to start putting some stuff back into the diet just so I know that I feel like I had that substance in there. But overall, that's it. Staying active. I stay by the water. I'm always either swimming or doing something that has to do. I used to play ball all the time. I haven't really been out on the court that much because of all the COVID stuff. But
right.
staying active, bro. Staying
So
active. If it's
so
not
so
that, I'm on
Denise is
doing
still
something.
good. Denise is still good, huh?
Yeah, they still work. They still working, man. The music's still working, man. You know, I always tell people if you could turn that music off and hear us on stage while we're performing, you hear that snap, crackle, and pop. We sound like a bowl of rice.
Nah, brother, look, man. Ever since you came on the scene, man, I'm thinking back. I'm looking at you. I'm thinking back. I'm thinking back to the last time I saw you, which was on the Capitol Jazz Super Cruise. You and Johnny Gill was doing the cruise, and I was one of the hosts. And then I'm thinking back a little further than that. And when you came out on that cruise, man, you still had, you have your style, man. You have your style. You have your swag. You had that walk. I call it the RT walk. You have just your you know your swag, man. And not everybody has that, brother. So you are an entity within yourself, and obviously you are a great portion of the entity of New Edition, because that brotherhood is that brotherhood, man.
Thank you, man. And that's that inner city blues, you know. That's the inner city blues walk. I walk with the inner city blues in my head at all times. It's like I got a theme playing in the background in my mind when I'm strolling, man. You know, I just always liked the cats and the bricks that was always cool. The cool cats always stood out to me, you know. Cool, but very intelligent. That always went, that had to go together. Couldn't just be cool.
Right.
You had to be cool and have some sort of intelligence and, you know, a sense of the community. Everybody kind of just gravitated to the people who you can tell that they cared about where they grew up and helped the old ladies, go to the store for them. That kind of cat, I always dug them. So, you know, I think I walk with that in my mind. I move that way, and it seems to translate pretty good when people see that. It's a good look.
Man, even though we grew up in different areas and at different times, I grew up in Brooklyn in the hood. You grew up in Roxbury. It seems like we were associated or around, or we saw those images a lot. And unfortunately, we don't see a lot of those images today, which is a problem for me. I don't know how you feel.
I'm on the same page, man. I'm on the exact same page with you. I wish, you know, it's just the hood right now is going through something, man. What I think what it is, it's a lack of the expression of love, man. When I walk through hoods, everybody's kind of mad dogging, kind of just going through it, you know, and it's hard to come through it if you don't have enough of the love energy vibrating in it. When we walked around, it was always some kind of coming through the barbershop speakers from the outside. You heard, you know, love records. You heard this sense of everybody caring about each other, and whether it was falling in love with a woman or falling in love and being behind your community and your peoples and all that kind of stuff, it was always being fed to me. I could always feel it from somewhere. Now when I walk around, kind of like the opposite. Nobody wants to represent love for a sign of feeling weak, or some sort of sign of feeling vulnerable, or whatever it might be. You know, they're just not expressing it like that. And I think that that's what I'm missing the most. If that could reign in there as a supreme or a very high frequency, or something that we hear more often in our neighborhoods, I think it would return back to people just understand you got to look out for each other, man. You got to make sure everybody's eating. You got to make sure all the kids is being raised properly. It takes a village to raise a child. So at the end of the day, without that happening, um, you get what we got right now. It's just a sense of everybody going for it, struggling, and it's kind of on their own. You know, that I'm gonna do me era. I'm gonna get mine instead of a we. It's supposed to be about Ubuntu. I have because we have. I am because we are. If
Yeah.
you're not rocking out of that, then you're missing something, man. And that's what I think is missing. That's why I'm gonna continue putting out these love records and love energy, and just trying to do my part to try to reflect what I grew up on, what it was like when I was coming up, and see if I can instill that and make that change. If we can make that a trend again, if we can make cross colors and Timberlands and different outfits and
Yeah.
things like that, we can make love a trend, man. We can bring that back. So
We can,
that's what.
man. You play a very integral part in bringing that love full circle, especially now, man, with the release of the brand new single, All Mine. That's a smoker, baby. That's a smoker. And more, I'm talking to a lot of radio cats in a lot of different markets, and they say, yo, this dude, he came back strong with a vengeance.
I
And
love
that's a great sign, if you ask me, baby. That's a great sign.
Love it, man. I love it. The ride has been going hard, man. The Rizz ride has been going real hard, making sure everybody hears this song. And they've been waiting for me to put this record out for a long time. So I had to make sure, first of all, it was the right record. I had the right team. And Johnny Gill, That's just I love him to death, man. That he really looked out for me in a major way to make sure all those components and all those things was proper. And he was a big part of why I have the right squad and with the right team and the right record
Yeah.
at this particular time. So we have others. We got all kind of songs, like again, reflecting the inner city blues that make me want to holler and mercy, mercy me's. I'm addressing what's going on socially, but I'm also sticking, and even with that, that's all about love too. That's and in its own right, it's representing love and caring and all compassion and that stuff. So that's going on the record. But to come on there and bless me with his vocals, first of all, he found the record. The record came to him as a song
Wow.
that was supposed to be for his album. And he shot it to me like, man, this sounds like something you would do. And listen to what it's doing out there, man. Then the riders got behind it once they finally heard it, because I kept having to push it back and push it back. It's kind of getting scary because I don't want to keep making the announcement. Well, I got to push it back again. So this last announcement was the one, and they jumped on that, man. They made sure everybody
Woo.
song and had a chance, an opportunity to yay or nay it. But if you like it or not, the riders was gonna make sure you heard it, man. So shout out to all my Rizz riders. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all.
Hey, first of all, to all the Rizz writers, okay, so I know you know who the hell I am. Uh, Rizz, for real, for real. So it's nice, man. Now, when is your show on, Rizz?
It's on every day. The Inside the Ride is on every day from 4 to 7 East Coast time.
Woo. I'm so glad you're off at 7 o'clock because I can't on at 7 and 8 o'clock. I need you out of my way.
Listen, man, we got to join forces one day and put them all together, make it all happen, so we can just take over the country, man.
I
That
love
era that
it.
we from the quiet storm, the quiet music you play, for me getting them off their feet and jumping. It's the perfect back to back, if you ask me, because I'm coming in with the Roberta Flax and the you and I'm getting them up and rocking from that era and with stuff we was back together again, you know what I'm saying? And then you with the Marvins and the Smokey Robinsons, Quiet Storms, and just rocking like that was the perfect segue into what you do, man. So we're gonna have to rock it together one day and just see if there's something we can do just to back them, man.
I think that would work, and I think the ladies will be on fire by the time we finish with them, Riz, because I'm going to bring out the soy candles and do the bubble bath thing, and then put a little champagne on the side.
Exactly. After I finish getting them sore, you're gonna make sure you soothe them muscles, baby.
It's called a musical massage.
That's right. You're gonna massage them with that music. That's right, Lenny. That's how we gotta do it, man. Let's talk about that, man. That's good. That could be something.
I think that could work, brother. I think that could work. But right now, it's really just all about just getting the word out there a little bit more, man. I'm strongly excited about your brand new album coming to fruition. And you spoke about your inner city blues thing a lot. I want you to speak on that because a lot of people don't know that you're very socially conscious and you're not disconnected to what's going on around you and the environment that you're in, and you want to make those records too, and you haven't had a chance to do those kind of signature records, but you bring a lot of love to the attention. But on this new project, you said to me the other day that you definitely might bring in a couple of those signature songs that relates to the time and element that we're in.
Absolutely. I've already been working on probably the last 2.5, 3 years, man. I've been working on just doing records and feeling out a new flavor or a way to merge that into my flavor so that it doesn't come off of what happened all overnight. I just changed the flavor, so I have to merge it the right way. All mine was a perfect blend is to get my traditional style back out there. You know what I've been singing like, what I've been sounding like, topics I've been singing about. Just merging it back into the public so that my voice and me as an artist is back on the scene properly, and then I can start slowly, feeding them the stuff that's been on my mind, that's been on everybody's mind. But I have a voice. I have a voice for us out here, a bigger voice than most of us. So being able to use that voice to represent what I saw people representing when I grew up. And because again, we were just talking about it. Marvin Gaye came with those type of records, and it just touched my heart. I can't hear him to this day without getting a little watery in the eye sometimes. It's like, wow, this brother was really on it. And then the way he did it, the music's flavor that he did it on, all that stuff was important. He wasn't the only one, but he was the one that I always use as an example, because our people can just they can recognize what I'm talking about right off the top when I use him as an example. And such a big influence between him and Michael Jackson. It was such huge influences in my life in terms of flavor, style, performing, the type of artist that it kind of molded me out to be, mixed with the streets and what was going on with the pop locking and the Roger Troutman and the Zaps, as they kind of came on the scene.
Yeah.
I have a merge of all those flavors that I got to represent that, man. Parliament, Funkadelic, Heat Wave, all these cats are a huge part of my DNA, and I have to represent that at some point, musically, vocally, before I shut it all down. I want to make sure that as a that's represented by me. Those flavors and what it brought to me, I want to bring that out. And I'm getting with the right producers and talking with the right people, and I'm doing some of my own stuff to make sure I know what I can hear, so I can do it myself. But
Yeah.
getting some of the people when I'm sitting down with them to talk about those, bringing that out, bringing those influences out on my next project has been important. So that's where we're leaning, man. We're leaning toward it now, and this was prior to the COVID and the
Yeah.
isolation and the Black Lives movements and all these different things. I've been I've been understanding that Black Lives Matter and Black Lives the movement is important. I've been
Yeah.
understanding that we've been
Right.
going through.
No,
I grew up in it. I came from it, so I
yeah.
understand before it was a on public stage, I guess you would say, as it is now. It's always been on my stage because I had to walk through it. And when you have family members that's still there, no matter how far you move or fly away, when you stay in touch with your people and your family members and sisters and brothers, cousins, aunts and uncles, and all these people who are still there dealing with it, you hear it, you still feel it. It's like until all of us are out of there, I'm
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah. But I'm concerned. What are the conversations you're having with your children? Because this is new to them, man. This kind of came out. I mean, it was always there, bro. Like you said, it was there when you were growing up. It was there when I was growing up. But like it kind of came out of the forest and kind of smacked it really hard in the face of a lot of youth. And I know you have children of various ages. Are you starting to have? And it's a shame that we have to do this shit. But are you starting to have, quote unquote, the talk?
Yeah, I've been having the talk. Again, I've was bus to school since I was a little kid. I've always felt the climate. I've traveled all over the world, and I could feel the difference. I mean, I could feel that same similarity in lots of places across the world, across the country. As I was going in there, you knew where you was running into that climate, that kind of environment, and so I always knew it never went away. It kind of got tucked away through modern times, MTV era, quote unquote, if you want to, where it was kind of trying to merge cultures and stuff. But overall, there was still an undertow that I knew was still in this country. So my kids were raised to understand that undertow, that's what's going on out here, and to be aware of it. Um, do what you can to steer away from it. And that's why they're all in lanes that they really don't have to deal with it so much. They're in lanes that are more scholar based, opposed to having to do what I did and grind and hit the streets and hit the pavements,
Yeah.
city by city, town by town, to get these records out there and do what I have to do. You gotta, you know, you got to end up in a lot of spots late at night that you probably don't want to be, to get a meal real quick because you're in route from one city to the next. And so I've ran into it personally a lot, and just raising them so, number one, they don't have to run into those situations. They had other options in terms of how to make a life for themselves, a living for themselves, that don't have them encountering that as much. But also, I raised them with the understanding of what the undertow is, still here and abroad, in America and all across the world.
So you give your kids responsibilities. Because obviously the way you grew up, you're able to now provide your children with a whole new different lifestyle. So they don't
Yeah,
understand the struggles that you and the fellas of New Edition had. Because all of you guys who have children, you're going to provide a different life, a different level of achievement for your children. But I'm trying to wonder how do you keep your children grounded, knowing and knowing your vibe, man, as a person. I can see you keep it. You're a straight up dad.
yeah. Well, honestly, my kids for a long time didn't really understand or care about this celebrity dad. They didn't know, they didn't even really get it until years later when I started introducing them to some of their artists or their favorite artists, would be backstage, and their favorite artists, and from whoever it might have been, back from Bow Wows to the B2Ks and all that, as they're coming up, was running up to me. And they're standing like that. looking at me like, man, must be somebody, you know. So that's how unaware they were to look at me as a celebrity or their lifestyle as a celebrity lifestyle of some sort or whatever. They were still, like I said, brought up into having your own responsibilities, getting your own, preparing them so that they always had this work ethic and school ethic and just to get their own life going. It wasn't about looking at dad's going to provide everything anytime I wanted. Although if somehow they knew that if they needed or wanted a bike and they was doing good in school, they could get that bike. It wasn't like me when I could be doing, which I was a straight A student for most of my school and still want that bike for my birthday or something and still couldn't quite get it. It might
Right,
come,
right.
it's gonna come eventually, but might not be on your birthday, baby. But it, you know, they didn't have to do it that way. But I
Right.
made sure that they understood and felt life from that perspective because I think that that's what built the heart that I had, and I understood to go get it yourself kind of attitude. I knew to instill that in them. So yeah, you're right. I made sure that they had their own. They just had things to do. They it wasn't done for them. You had to go do it yourself.
How old is your what's the oldest son you have?
My oldest son, that's Ralph Jr. And Ralph Jr. is 22. He's
Wow.
22.
Wow.
And
Man, you look like you don't look like you too far from 22, Ralph. If you take this off, if you take off your hair, think about it now. I'm not lying, dude. You're blessed with great genes thanks to mom and dad. You take off
mom and
that
dad,
peach fuzz. Come on, man. You got the slimness going on. You got have you thought about
they were
taking the beard and the goatee off yet?
nah, not yet, man. You know what's funny is it took a long time for me to put it on. I was sticking with the whole just keep it young, keep it youthful, the NE, the new edition vibe that we always was on. I was keeping true to that, but you know, as I start going out and start thinking more as dad, more as an individual in my own approach, it's like I want to just let me just be what God is making me for a minute. What
Mm,
is it that I want to hear before I start trying to trim it up and make it something? What is it that where am I? Where do I really sit with all of this, man? And that's when I start realizing that I'm getting grays and I need to cover them up. I'm growing a beard and how that looks when I have that all in is his plan. And let me go with his plan for a minute and see what pops off. And I can always go back to doing anything when it's time to do any. I clean up and, you know, put on the suit, the tuxedo or whatever it may be and do that and go down that lane. That's always like going to a wedding or a cotillion or some kind of ball benefit, something like that, when you put on the new edition outfit, you look forward to that. But until then, I don't want to walk around with that all day because I have nothing to look forward to when it's
right.
time to jump in that suit, you know. So I'm going to my suit. What is that? And I think it's closer to, like I'm saying, it's an inner city thing. It's a Marvin Gaye with the Scully rolled up on the album
Yeah,
cover with
yeah.
the scully beard and representing what it's really like to be down in the heart of all of that and reflecting it in all its ways, you know, from the music to the topics to the actual imagery that's up in there. I had to be a part of that because that's really me. Without me trying to jazz it up or barbecue it up or put some bacon or whatever. I don't have to slice and dice that. Just let it be what it's gonna be. And that's what I'm. That's what you're seeing now. You just let. This is God's plan. This is God's look for me. This is the natural.
So with Ralph Jr. Is he having the has he fell in love yet? Because are you giving him the schooling like young man, like don't fall too quick, get to know her.
My boys are just like me, man. They're a sucker for love. You know,
We all are, dude. We all are.
they're a sucker for love, man. So at the end of the day, you know, I talk to them about my ins and outs, ups and downs. I've always been brutally honest with them in terms of just life in general. If they can come at me for whatever they want to know, and I'm always here for that. My youngest he's even just as bad as all of us. Yeah, it's just the Tresvant men are suckers for love, man. They just love.
It's
It's,
not it's not a bad thing though, brother. It's not a bad thing.
it's not a bad thing at all. I think that it's a beautiful thing. You know, you just got to understand how that really all plays out. When you who you falling for, you got to make sure that you're feeling that in return. It's being done in return. It's not because of who they are or whose dad they have and all that stuff. Got to tell them to look for all that thing. Look, you know, there's a lot for them to have to look out for when they're choosing somebody
Woo.
they want to be with and stuff. So I make sure that they're aware of all that. And my boys are smart. My kids in general. My daughters are smart. they're very. I'm blessed, man. I can put it that way. They made it very easy, or between the way that I was raised and utilizing that same way of raising kids with my kids. Um, they came out to be really beautiful, young adults. My oldest daughter it's just been a blessing all her life.
Yeah.
That's all my kids. Mariah, that's my second born. She's just on some scholar stuff. College, just don't want to come out of school ever,
Wow.
and just on to doing great things with her life. And just my two boys. They're just smart, man. They just chip off the old block. So for the most part, I don't really worry about them too much, man. I know that they can handle themselves. They're very bright boys.
Man, I know you are um, respecting and understanding the moment that we're all in right now, but I know you are also strongly anticipating and anxious to get back on the road because
Yeah.
that's what you do. And how you coping with that, man? Like how,
Um.
I mean, right now it's about releasing the record, and the record is doing the magic by itself, which is great. But give it another couple of months, you could if you don't have that itch already, you're gonna start getting that itch. Like, damn, I need to perform. I need to see people. I need to vibe. I need to do what you do.
Man, you're hitting it on the nose. When I tell you, if I was ever to be a junkie for something, I'm a stage junkie, and I'm just being on that stage. It's like right now, I'm going through mad withdrawals, man. It's like unbelievable that even I can't even perform the single yet. In my element with my band and the lights and the different outfit changes, and just being able to unfold it in the way that I want people to see it live and let them hear it being done live. All that stuff is a part of what the energy of being Rob Tresvant or New Edition has been throughout the years. It's been about that live stage performance and how we unfold these records once they become hits or whatever. They want to see how are they going to do that instead. I can't wait to see that in concert, kind of thing, and I can't wait to perform in the concert so you can see what I got for you, what I got ready for this. So I guess right now I'm just jonesing, man. I'm jonesing for the stage right now, man. I'm just sitting around like going through withdrawals of epic proportions because I can't get out there and do what I do. Man,
Are you,
having a jeez.
are you thinking outside the box in forecasting how it might look? Because now, this weekend, I think today, the first NBA games are coming back on. We have
Yeah.
baseball back on. With the baseball thing, that's the funny shit because they got
I
the
heard about that. I didn't see it, but I heard about that. Lenny, they was talking about they had cardboard versions of fans. I couldn't even imagine, man. Is
yeah,
that
it's
for the
crazy.
players? Is that for the players to get a sense of there's somebody watching them, or is it for the? I don't
But
understand it.
check it out. They don't have the cardboards out in the field. So you're looking at the full stadium and there's nobody out there. So it's like going back to maybe their high school days.
Oh my God,
But check this out. They have the
unreal.
sound effects of crowds. So if they hit a home run or they hit you hear a crowd. Could it be like that for entertainers? Could it be like that for your next show? Could it be
Man, I
you
certainly hope.
could perform you're gonna perform someplace. Let's say you perform in a venue, but there's not gonna be nobody there. Your band could be socially distanced, they could be all apart from each other, but you're not gonna see
Man,
that audience like that.
man, you just made my eyes. Well, I
What's
certainly
the
hope not. I really do. I certainly
yo?
hope that.
Can you imagine you at a stage and because I know you like to go to the end of the stage and shake some hands or sing to a lady. You'll be singing to a piece of cardboard. Oh my gosh. And then somebody put on the sound effect. Every time you go into a song, they'll raise up the sound effect of ladies screaming.
They put, no, man. No, man. I think I would have to hang up my microphone, my studio, man. At that point, I can't do it like that. That's not performing for me.
I mean, think
That's
about what's going to happen, though, man. You got you and the rest of the fellas, the New Edition, and any artist right now. I mean, I'm wondering how a concert is going to take place. Because right now, especially like in certain states around the country, we're talking about Georgia, we're talking about Florida, the cases are still going up. And
right.
the biggest thing is these masks. And we still have a lot of folks that do not want to wear masks. and the mask easily transmits stuff. And they're talking about the more people you're around, it's easier to the virus is easier to jump. And the only thing that we have working for us, Ralph, and because you are in great shape and you eat well, your immune system is up. But that's what we all have to do. We have to build up our immune systems to fight off not only this virus, but just the common cold.
That's right. Gotta eat right, man. You gotta make sure that your immune is up. Listen, if that's the future of concerts, that's just gonna be one of those things that I'm gonna have to remember how it used to be, man. You know, I may try it once just to feel the vibe, just because I gotta. Is this something I can get used to or adjust to? But I'm almost sure that I'd have to hang the microphone up, man. At least the live mic. I'd probably have to hang the live mic up at that point and say, and remember how it used to be, you know. But
No. You know what, Mike? I want you to consider this, Ralph.
mm-hmm.
I want you to consider doing some. You would have to resort to doing things on virtual, like let's say Rizzo TV, and then you have cameras in there, and whether it's pre-done, so people
Right.
still get the element. And maybe it'd be select few, like you couldn't have a full house, but you could have half a house, like maybe 100 people, especially invited guests.
Now I might could do that. Now that would make more sense than being there with cardboards looking at me, man, and a fake audience scream at the end of a song, man. And all them
Right.
man. I don't know. I think I could do it the way you're talking about. Um, if that's the future of it, I got to try it. You know, I gotta try it and feel what I feel from it, man. But
Scary.
I'm just a live man. I'm an interactive person. I'm the cat that I don't get on the tour bus after the show when we leave in city until every last fan's autograph is signed or a picture's taken. That's just man. And not being able to do that for the fear of catching something or giving somebody something or whatever it might be, all those things just change the whole narrative. They change the whole thing for me, you know, as an artist. That's what I live for. Those are the connections that I just remember the feeling of being that person, sitting outside the bus or wanting to sit outside the bus or wait for my favorite artist to take a picture with me or wishing I could have a picture with my favorite artist or stuff like that. I remember that feeling myself, and being able to give that to somebody is just everything to me. And so if it changed to the point where you can no longer do that, it's like, I don't know what's left in it. You know, it's just doing it for a paycheck, which if I gotta eat, you gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? We gotta eat. But I mean, I do okay right now, and I got plenty of riders out there. I don't think I'm gonna be short of any meals or, or something in my head if it came down to it. You know, which is what
let
I
me ask you.
got.
But let me ask you. You guys, New Edition would travel the world, to my understanding. When did you guys back in the day when you guys were doing the tours? Did you guys go into any countries where they were wearing face masks? Like, did you guys go to Hong Kong or China or any other foreign country where face masks were required?
No, not really. I remember for a while as I was traveling around, this had to be 5, 6 years back. You know, you started slowly seeing it looked like it was Oriental people from the Orient, China or Korea. It was those kind of those people who every now and then you see them on the planes wearing these things, and I thought it was more of just a personal thing, personal hygiene thing, or maybe doctor ordered something. They have their immune system is not as strong, so they have to put stuff on like that. But I slowly started seeing that happening as I was traveling. But it was mostly amongst people that looked like they were from a China or Japan or Korea or something like that.
But you knew someone, and I knew someone who was wearing it a lot.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Hey, he knew something we didn't know. Mike knew something we didn't know, but I know what he
all
did
thought
say.
Mike was crazy.
I know he also was saying I say probably about a year or so prior to his death, he was talking about there was something going on that we all had to get together on and figure it out. Before he said it's before the next 3 years. He said because in the next 3 years it's going to be irreversible.
Wow.
And I don't know if he ever got a chance. He was saying this live in one of his press conferences, and I don't know if everybody caught that. I'm thinking it's more along the lines of race matters or something. But when you look down the line a little bit more and seeing what's developing, it's been a little more than 3 years, but There's a long, here comes something that seems to be just like what he said, something that's taken over the entire planet,
Yep.
that is some irreversible. It looks like if it keeps going the way it's going, this will be the way we live from this point forward on this planet. Irreversible. This is what he was
Irreversible.
talking. Hey, that's scary.
That
That's
is
scary.
scary, man. It makes you think. It makes you think, man. Hey, look, Ralph, I don't want to hold you up too long, but I do want to just touch base on a couple of things. Is it true that when you were 16 years old, you did a solo project back then?
Yeah, it's called Living in a Dream. Yeah,
Wow.
a self-written album called Living in a Dream that was produced by myself and Dwayne Omar. And
Wow.
we were getting dropped that project with a friend of ours, Cornell Brown. He was with us, and he was going to be a part of making sure that that album got heard, and the finances behind that project was going to. And we were dead serious. But just right around that same time, a lot of problems started going on with the group and some of the members in the group. And I was asked by MCA to do one more New Edition album. He said, for me, and I'll make sure that your next project will be in, that we'll put this album out. They loved it. Everybody that heard the Living in Dream album went bananas. It was Bobby's favorite album that never was released. And
Wow.
he basically patterned the Don't Be Cruel album behind that project, because, and I gave my blessings with it after, actually, because at the time he was going through a lot. He was like $1 million in debt with MCA Records, and all kinds of stuff was going on from the first project he did. So he pretty much took that blueprint with the two dancers, the dance, that was something that I said fluently throughout my album, and throughout the Living in the Dream album. And he rocked it. He made it work for himself, and I was proud of him. Proud of the success he was able to get out of that. But he'll tell you to this day, that was one of his favorite albums, um, that never got released. Had I released that, it would have been a whole nother type of
Oh, I could imagine.
understanding. Was,
But
man,
but did you have you had a label, Rated R Records?
yeah,
You
yeah,
still have it?
that's it was rated R. No, I don't have rated R anymore. Now I got a new one. It's Nostap Records. It's what's in me and Johnny's. We got a cohesive label together. He's got J Skills. Nostap is mine, and we're signed and distributing the single through SRG Records, their label. So that's the partnership that's been putting them on mine project out, and we'll continue to put some more stuff out. As long as we keep having the success we're having with this one, we're gonna keep it moving. But they're a great team, great family to be a part of, and that was the same intention, to have an inside solo, my own record label, putting this out with my own energy back then. This was early, this had to be like 87, 86, 87. We was getting ready to do this, man, because
Yeah.
Heartbreak came 88, right? Heartbreak
Yeah.
came out 80. It took time to record that, so yeah, 86 or so. We was getting ready to drop the Living in a Dream album, and they had all that same thing. The Inner City Blue, Make Me Wanna Holler type records, come together. It was crazy. I had a joint in there that I couldn't believe it was so similar after I heard it years later. And it was at least about a year and a half later after I wrote a song. It was called, what was the song called? It was called, I Guess That's Why They Call Me Rizz. Right. But the way that it was sung, it was, I guess that's why they call me Rizz. And probably about a year later, I'm in thing watching Captain EO, and I listen to the soundtrack, and I hear Michael say, and I guess it's just another part of me. And me and Dwayne and my family was listening and looking up with our eyes this big, like, yo, Mike just did my melody.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy to feel like, see, I know it was on the right track. I knew it. That's what it made me feel like. Said, man, we got to drop this project. But I went in and did the Heartbreak album, and needless to say, never released the Living in a Dream album. And I wish I had it, man, because I think the world would have had a different perspective of who I was a long time ago.
Yeah, but guess what? You're here now, though, and this new album is about to be released, and
Yes,
everything happens in divine purpose, in divine time. And
that's right.
this album, even though you wanted to do it then, the nice thing about it, man, is that you're still relevant. Like,
That's
I,
what's up.
I know everything kind of set back for Eddie for a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
the relevancy of all of you cats will never
Yeah,
die. I remember when I first saw you guys took a big bit of a hiatus. I think before that I'm Coming Home came out. You kind
yeah,
of fell back. When I
yeah.
saw you cats, I was in New York, and you guys came out like the new Temptations, yo, with Chris, you were shocked. I was like, oh shit, these guys grew up. And then y'all did that change, and then y'all put on the baseball cap. Y'all had the Uptown. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
and since that day, in every concert I've been to of y'all, that audience would never sit down. Before you cats get on stage, everyone is standing up. They don't sit down until they leave the building.
Ain't no fans like any fans, man. You know,
What?
they're the reason why we watch a lot of people come and go, and we're still here. That whole flavor, though, man, it's like nobody's really. You can't go see that nowhere else. You know,
No.
you think of really like that. You think about what other artists can I go get that vibe from? You know, that synchronized dressing, the choreography is sharp, and that type of choreography, and it's done in a sense of urgency. Still, it's like now we're not taking it for granted when we go out here. Everything is let's hit them hard tonight, every night.
Yeah.
You know, and give it that full energy that we've been trying to give it since we was little kids. That's still there. Like there's nobody doing that, man. You can't even go. So if you want to see that flavor, you got to keep New Edition alive. You got to keep New Edition relevant. You got to give us a reason to move and tour. So the fans been doing that. They've been making sure they give us a reason to keep it up.
Because what groups, and help me because I'm drawing a blank, but what groups are out there now like a New Edition?
Nah, none. There's none, man.
There's none.
We were the last. You know, it's funny because the Whispers, people like the Stylistics, Shy Lights, Blue Magic, we would run into these artists, and they would say, "Man, you brothers are the last of the Mohicans. Y'all the last of the last, man.
You are.
Hold it down." They would tell us, like, we really be thinking about this, like, are we really? But just nobody came up under us as we want that New Edition flavor. We're going to do that. Temptation meets, you know, Four Top Stylistics, all those type of groups. Nobody came up underneath that as we're going to be the next that, so that we can keep that going. Because there was a time where there was multiple groups, and they all had a similar flavor like that. Some did it better or more intricate than others, but there was a lot of that flavor. So you could go see this vibe, basically, that basic vibe from different artists. And then after New Edition, that was it. We kind of mixed that with the pop locking, the Jacksons, the Temps meets the Jacksons, meets what was going on in the hoods we grew up in at that time, you know, in our era, and that became New Edition and our flavor. So when you think about who grabbed the flavors that's after New Edition and mix that with something or whatever that was in there, nobody's done it, man. That's it. They were absolutely right. We was the last of a dying breed.
And hopefully you're not over. Hopefully, I mean, can New Edition ever come back around, you think, at some point?
Absolutely. It's nothing that's that terrible going on with the group. We just got to get everything situated. And we've been talking, you know, for the most part. Everybody's been working things. Just, you know, growing up, man. Getting to the point where we know that it's a blessing. We've always known and seen it, saw it as a blessing. So because of that, we always worked it out. And we'll work it out again. We'll make it happen. Absolutely.
Man, you got everyone on this. We got everybody from Spain to North Carolina to New York to Jersey to California, Chicago, Texas. Man, everyone is chiming in from Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. Just a lot of love, brother. A lot of love. That's what I'm saying. Your relevancy, man. Your relevancy is just so impactful. So even though you wanted certain things at certain times, God is providing this opportunity for you right now, and this is the perfect opportunity for RT, man, for the Rizz to kind of like take that step that he wanted to take and do what you gotta do and be happy with what you gotta do. And then hopefully by that time, you know, you kind of got all aired out, and hopefully there's some concerts that you could do on your own. And then here comes New Edition, come back, and woo, man, you guys gonna just kill it.
Exactly. You give all those different things. There's always been somebody in the group, whether it was the group itself or an entity of the group, that kept the group relevant during a particular time, that allowed the group to come back, well, you know, people to miss it and come back to the group with even more energy still in the group. So I guess it's my time to be that booster shot into the group's arm.
Now that I think about it, New Edition was the only group that had subdivisions. Bobby Brown did his thing, right?
Yeah.
Johnny, this is before even Johnny came in, right? Johnny was the aftermath. Then you had BBD, right? Then you guys came out with the heads of state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so many subdivisions. I mean, that's a hell of a damn show, man. Y'all could break off, come out and do solo shit, come back and do new shit.
That's
Like,
man. That's another thing that had never been done. You know,
never did that.
all platinum. Everybody in the group and the different offsprings from the group, multi-platinum records, 3 and 4 million and up, depending on the artists at the time that they was dropping. Have had major success as individuals. Then could come back and do another 2 million or so, 3 million or so as the group, and just being able to keep doing that allowed us to have room for new edition, to want to do new edition. You can go out there and you can have success on your own and move around. You look forward to coming back to the table with everybody. If we were sitting around probably having to just do new edition for almost 40 years, who knows if we would have been burnt out with it, if we would have just felt like we were expressionless as individuals and wasn't able to get off anything new, or who knows. But that being allowed to do that gave us gave New Edition a sense of always having this reinvention to it. So each time we came to the table, like you said, it felt relevant. It felt fresh. It still felt like what I always thought the name stood for. Each time we did something was going to feel new. Like the newest edition of a car. Cadillac's been around forever, but you put out a new version of it. All it is another upgraded version of the brand new a Cadillac. So that's what New Edition stood for me. We're going to always upgrade ourselves to what's necessary to be relevant in the new times.
I'm so proud of you guys, man. I remember, and this memory is so much in the front of my mind, it's not even in the back of my mind. I remember that one opportunity. First time you guys were playing, oh shit, in New York City, it was a nightclub. Oh,
Copacabana? Was it the Copa?
Or there was another one.
Because we did that. We was doing everything in New York. Harlem World. We was doing USA Skating. We did Studio 54. We did everything in New York. But I remember one of our performances was that Copacabana.
And they
tables.
And your record label gave me permission to interview you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go to the hotel. You guys had the hotel on lockdown. But you guys had to take a nap. That's how young were you. Y'all had to take a nap before the show. And I'm interviewing you guys. I can't find these pictures, man. I'm interviewing these cats, ladies and gentlemen. And they got pretty much got their pajamas on. About to take their nap. Because the concert's going to start like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
That was it.
And the club is already packed at 10 p.m.
That's our circuit. Our circuit started after midnight back there in New York. It sure did, man. And we would do three or four clubs that night. Get up, do the same, a bunch of press in the daytime. Go take a nap. Like you said, we got to go to sleep somewhere around 7 sometime. Then we'd be up by about midnight to go get it again. Then when we get up, after doing all those shows that night, we hop in a limousine, drive back from New York to Boston, and get dropped off at each individual schools.
Wow.
Have to do the school thing, man. That was it was a grind, man. It was really a grind for us back then. But hey, we was loving it. And each time we came back to New York, you start hearing the New York charts. But now it wasn't just Candy Girl in circulation, but the top 3 records of the day, or the top 3 records on the countdown was Candy Girl, Is This the End, and Popcorn Love, and stuff like that, depending on the order. And we would just ear to ear, man. It's working. Whatever we're doing, let's do more of it because it's working. Let's keep it going. Mm-hmm.
It worked, man. You guys worked. You guys did that press thing, and now you because we're living in different times, we're creative people, and I know a different way of doing business, but doing it effectively and still having the impact will definitely be right there for you. I want to know if you still hold true to this mantra that I read that you once wrote. You said no matter what you are, who you are, or where you came from, as long as you stay positive, you can't ever make a mistake.
That's the bottom line, man. Because life is full of trials and errors. It's a roller coaster. You never know what's going to work or not. But as long as you stay positive, you're never making a mistake, man. You're adjusting. You're learning as the journey goes along. Because life is a journey. Life is a straight up journey. It's not a race or a sprint or anything. It's a journey, and if you stay positive during that journey, you never make a mistake because there's always you're just learning. You know, it's always about adjusting, learning from things that you go through, adjusting accordingly, and getting it right. You know what I'm saying? So it's always about fine tuning. Now, I don't look at mistakes as a mistake. If you're positive, if you're doing negative stuff out there, you're making a mistake. If you're trying to go at it wholeheartedly from a good place,
Yes.
you're adjusting, man. You're figuring out how to better it, how to make it, you're fine tuning it. That's all.
Hey, brother, I enjoyed our conversation this afternoon. We got a lot of NE, day one riders. We got the Rizz riders. What would you like to impart in today, man? What would you like to say to your base, man, to your fan base of who's been riding with you ever since the beginning of time, since 1983?
Well, first of all, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for tuning in today. My man Lenny Green is the truth. And keep it locked on Lenny, man. Spread the word on my man and make sure y'all support him because he's been working hard for a long time and deserves that following, that love out there. And again, just thank you for all of the years of support. And it hasn't mattered. Up, down, good and bad. Y'all have been there with us, man, as I've fine-tuned my own life. And New Edition has fine-tuned their life. You guys have been there. And the main reason why we do that, I'll say it over and over again, there is no fans like New Edition fans. There's no riders like Ralph RT riders. So I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And stay tuned, man. We getting ready to I'm gonna need y'all. We got some work to do. So roll up y'all sleeves. Let's get it in.
Hey, Rich, somebody just put up a great idea. A
What's that?
Zoom party or a Zoom performance. Matter of fact, dude, I'm gonna say it right here. You should do a Zoom release party.
I think that's what the plan is, man. You know, I'm doing something right now called A Closer Look. I'm working on it. It's behind the scenes where they've already interviewed a lot of the people who I've worked with throughout the years, and I sat down. They got Ricky Bell in there, Johnny's in there. They got my children in there, Jimmy Jam, and it's things like that. So just the guys that used to do Unsung, they're doing a new show. The old producers of Unsung is doing a show called A Closer Look, and I'm their premiere show. So probably toward the end of our it'll drop. And one of the things I want to do next is I want to do a special the Rizz Riders, NE fans Zoom, where I want them to be a part of the show. So look for that real soon. We're going to be putting out put the word out so y'all can know when to tune in, when to grab. I don't know how many you can get on there at the same time, but we're going to try to do an official Zoom with all the fans as a part of the show so they can get their perspective and they can show their love or whatever it is they want to say about your boy and about the group and about all the stuff that, I walk and our travels throughout the year. We look forward to that. Yeah, we're going to start using, just like you said, man, as the times evolve and things change, we got to find a way to make the most of them with what we do. And so that's one of the big things that we have as a tool right now to get this word out, to bring people together, spread the word, spread this love. So that'll be a major part. And I agree. I'm going to start doing my own thing, even with Iron Crates, DJ Iron Crates. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right, man. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're going to do all of that, man. So we're going to have our parties. We're going to sit down and probably have a house pajama jammy jam and all that stuff with both leg from a house, but from Full Force and all that stuff, man. We got some plans, some fun stuff to do to just make the times a little bit more interesting, make the times to where we can still have fun, man, and enjoy our lives. I don't want to just feel stuck and like everything is a slow decline, but no, fine tuning, adjusting it. We'll find ways to make this world work still, however we can do it the old way if we can, ever do it the old way. If not, can't look at everything as it's on the constant decline. We got to find a way to make it feel good, man. In the meantime, in between time, we still want to enjoy this world, enjoy this place, because we're here. We're TikToking still, and let's enjoy it, man.
You only get one life, baby. Only one.
That's right, man. Let's enjoy this. So we'll do all of it. That's a great idea.
Hey, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, please continue to support this brother. He's a wonderful, amazing brother who I've had the utmost respect for and still do. He's my brother from another mother, and he deserves all the accolades that he rightfully worked hard for. And I know this brand new album is going to be the real deal, and I can't wait for it, just like y'all can't wait for it. So in the meantime, make sure let's make this all mine, at least triple platinum, at a minimum, triple platinum. And then when the album comes, y'all know what to do. Just continue to blow it up because, baby, we got you on the radio side. We got you. We can support you. We always continue to love you. And I love you personally, my brother. And I thank you for taking out your time on this Saturday afternoon just to hang with me. And thank you, man, for everything that you have given us and what you continue to strive for.
It's been my pleasure, man. And as always, I tip my hat to you, my friend.
That's why I'm wearing this hat today, baby. I'm tipping my hat to you, my brother. Thank you, brother.
It is. Rizz Riders, stand up on it. All right.
Don't forget to check out Rizz right before the Quiet Storm. He gets up at 7. Your show starts at what? 3?
It starts 4 Eastern time.
4 Eastern time. I'm coming on at 7 Eastern time. If you're in a different part of the country, I'm coming on at 8 Eastern time. And I'm coming on at Central time at 6 o'clock. I'm trying to cover the spectrum. I'm trying to cover the spectrum. So, Rizz going to set you up, and ladies, I'm going to massage you. So we hope to see you on the radio.
There you go, man. I'm gonna get you sore, and then he's gonna soothe you. My man.
Be safe, be well, and we'll talk soon.
You too, man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, brother. Ralph Tresvant. That's right, baby. Rizz with us this afternoon. Can't ask for anything better than that. It was a wonderful conversation. I hope you got something from it. For those of you who've been with Ralph all these years, you know this brother has been putting in the work. He's naturally gifted, like all of the fellas of New Edition. I tip my hat up to all of the fellas of New Edition, and happy for their existence. Happy that they've given us what they've given us. It's a straw hat, but it was hot. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being with me for this off mic, and I'll have another one soon. I promise you that. But log in with me on the Quiet Storm. You can do that Monday through Thursdays, and obviously Monday through Friday, Saturday if you're in Miami on Hot 105. If you're in New York at 107.5 WBLS, if you're in Augusta, Magic 100.9. If you're in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I'm on WTUG. If you're in Oklahoma City, I'm on Heart and Soul 92.1. If you're in Nassau, Bahamas watching, I'm on Global 99.5. If you're in Pittsburgh, I'm at 107.3 The Beat. If you're in Milwaukee, I'm at Jammer 983. I want to thank y'all so much for your love that you continue to give us. I want to thank everyone. Darling Nikki, thank you for being here. Thank you for holding me down. Family, I love you, and I thank y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe. Please be safe. And may God bless you and your family as we continue to move through this crazy time that we're going through. Everything happens for a reason. This was destined to be in history, but we are strong people, and we can get through this. May God bless you, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.